All right, you travel-hungry bastard. Looks like you've been digging into some tourism stats. Probably planning your next escape from reality. Or maybe you're just a data nerd who gets off on this shit. Either way, let's rip into these articles and see what's really going on in the world of travel.
Let's do it.
First off, the big picture. International tourism in 2023. It's back with a vengeance. We're talking 1.3 billion tourists crossing borders. A shitload of people are on the move.
It's a massive rebound after that pandemic slump. The industry has shown incredible resilience.
Yeah, it jumped 33.4% from 2022 and a whopping 112.2% from 2021. When we were all hunkered down, scared shitless, looks like people are ditching their sweatpants and ready to explore the world again. But let's cut the crap and get down to the details. Which countries are raking in the big bucks?
Well, no surprise here. France is still the reigning champion. They pulled in a staggering 100 million visitors in 2023.
France? 100 million? Seriously? What the fuck are they putting in their croissants that's drawing all those tourists?
It's the classic combination: rich history, iconic landmarks, and world-renowned cuisine.
Yeah, those cheese-eating surrender monkeys know how to market themselves. Okay, so who else is cashing in?
Spain and the U.S. are hot on France's heels. Spain snagged 85.2 million visitors, and the U.S. pulled in 66.5 million. But here's where it gets interesting. The U.K. saw the biggest percentage jump in arrivals between 2021 and 2022, a mind-blowing 389%.
Hold up, 389%. The UK? What the hell is going on over there? Are they giving away free fish and chips with every plane ticket?
It's likely a combination of factors. The weakening pound has made the UK a more affordable destination, and there's been a renewed interest in their cultural heritage, particularly after the Queen's passing.
So it's a morbid curiosity thing. People want to see where the Queen kicked the bucket.
Perhaps. There's also the draw of their historical landmarks, their vibrant music scene, and their world-class theater.
Right. Shakespeare, the Beatles, and all that bullshit.
Okay.
But let's be real, they probably just miss having a decent cup of tea after Brexit fucked up their trade deals.
Yeah.
Anyway, let's break it down by continent, shall we? What are the big trends we're seeing?
Europe saw the biggest overall increase in visitors between 2021 and 2022, a whopping 95%.
95%. Europe is back in business. What's driving that surge? Is it all those cobblestone streets and historical landmarks? Or are people just desperate to get their hands on some decent beer and cheese after years of lockdown?
It's likely a combination of factors, including pent-up travel, demand the easing of travel restrictions, and the appeal of Europe's diverse cultures and landscapes.
Right. Culture, history, and booze.
Yeah.
The trifecta of European tourism. What about the Americas? Are they getting in on the action?
Absolutely. The Americas experienced a significant surge in arrivals, clocking in at a 90.9% increase between 2021 and 2022.
90.9%. Not too shabby. From the beaches of Cancun to the mountains of Machu Picchu, looks like people were itching to explore the Western Hemisphere. What's drawing the crowds? Is it the allure of those all-inclusive resorts? Or people seeking something a little more off the beaten path?
It's a diverse region with something to offer every type of traveler. You've got the vibrant cities, the stunning natural beauty, the rich history, and the diverse cultures.
Right. Cities, nature, history, culture, it's all there.
And what about Asia and the Pacific? Are they back in the game after those strict COVID lockdowns?
They are recovering, but at a slower pace. While China might be lagging behind its pre-pandemic numbers, countries like Thailand and Japan are seeing a solid return of tourists. Thailand and Japan. No surprises there. Beaches, temples, sushi, and those crazy-ass robots, what's not to love?
They offer a unique blend of tradition and modernity that appeals to a wide range of travelers.
All right, fair enough. Now let's talk about the real reason we're here. The money, honey. In 2022, international tourism receipts hit a mind-blowing USD $1 trillion. That's a 50% jump from the previous year. People are dropping serious cash on their travel adventures. Where's all that dough going?
The U.S. is the undisputed king, raking in a massive $135.2 billion in 2022.
$135.2 billion. Those greedy bastards. What are they spending all that money on? Probably building more theme parks and shopping malls.
Well, the U.S. offers a diverse range of experiences, from national parks and historical landmarks to bustling cities and entertainment hubs.
Right. Disneyland, Hollywood, and all that jazz. So who else is making bank?
Spain follows with $72.9 billion, and the U.K. rounds out the top three with $68.2 billion.
Spain and the U.K., eh? Not bad for a couple of countries that are practically bankrupt. Must be all that tourist cash keeping them afloat.
Tourism plays a significant role in their economies.
All right, fair enough. But who's actually spending all this dough? Who are the big spenders in the world of travel?
China and the U.S. are the biggest spenders when it comes to international tourism. In 2023, China's tourists splashed out a jaw-dropping $196.5 billion.
$196.5 billion. Holy shit! Those Chinese tourists are like walking ATMs. What the hell are they buying? Designer handbags, golden Buddhas.
They're investing in a wide range of experiences, from luxury accommodations and fine dining to cultural tours and adventure activities.
Right. Living the high life. And what about those free-spending Americans? How much are they shelling out?
Americans spent a respectable $150 billion in 2023.
$150 billion. Not bad, but they've got some catching up to do if they want to keep up with those Chinese spenders.
Indeed, China's growing middle class and their increasing desire for international travel experiences are having a significant impact on the global tourism market.
All right, so we've got a good overview of the big players in the global tourism scene. People are traveling in droves, spending like drunken sailors and boosting economies around the world. But let's get a little more granular. Let's dive into some specific regions and see what's really going on at ground level.
That's good to me.
Let's start with Africa. In 2019, the continent saw 69.9 million international tourists. Not too shabby, but that's excluding Egypt and Libya, which are often lumped in with the Middle East for tourism purposes. So what's the deal with Africa? Is it all safaris and wildlife, or is there more to it than that?
Africa offers a diverse range of experiences, from stunning landscapes and wildlife to vibrant cultures and historical sites.
Right. Lions, elephants, pyramids, and all that shit. But is it safe? I mean, I've heard some horror stories about tourists getting robbed, kidnapped, or worse.
While it's important to be aware of your surroundings and take necessary precautions, Africa is generally a safe destination for travelers. Many countries have invested heavily in tourism infrastructure and security measures.
Okay, so it's not all doom and gloom, but let's be real. Africa has a bit of a reputation for political instability and corruption. Is that something tourists need to worry about?
It's always wise to stay informed about the political and social climate of any destination you're considering. Certain regions may experience unrest or instability, so it's essential to do your research and exercise caution.
Right, so check the news before you book your flight. Don't want to end up in the middle of a coup d'etat while you're trying to enjoy your vacation.
Precisely. It's about being informed and making responsible decisions.
Right, fair enough. Now let's talk about some specific destinations in Africa. Where should people go if they want to experience the best of what the continent has to offer?
Well, Egypt is a classic choice. They pulled in a whopping 13 million tourists in 2019, making them the #1 destination in Africa.
Egypt, 13 million. What's the big draw? Is it those pyramids everyone keeps talking about?
The pyramids are certainly a major attraction, but Egypt offers much more than that. There's the ancient city of Luxor, the Valley of the Kings, the Nile River cruises, and the Red Sea resorts.
Right. History, culture, beaches, and all that jazz.
Yeah.
But is it safe? I mean, Egypt has had its fair share of political turmoil in recent years.
While it's important to stay informed and be aware of your surroundings, Egypt has taken significant steps to ensure the safety and security of tourists.
Okay, so as long as you don't go wandering off into the desert alone, you should be fine.
Precisely. It's about exercising common sense and being mindful of your surroundings.
All right, fair enough. What about Morocco? They snagged 12.9 million visitors in 2019, making them a close second to Egypt. What's the appeal there?
Morocco offers a captivating blend of Arabic, Berber, and European influences. From the bustling souks of Marrakech to the stunning beaches of Essaouira, it's a country that appeals to a wide range of travelers.
So it's like a mix of Arabian Nights and European sophistication. I could dig it. But what about those pesky scams and hustlers you hear about in Morocco? Are they really that bad?
Like any popular tourist destination, Morocco has its share of hustlers and scams, but with a little bit of awareness and common sense, you can easily avoid them.
Right. So don't buy any magic carpets from shady street vendors.
Got it. Precisely.
Yeah.
And be wary of anyone who is overly friendly or offers you something for free.
All right, I'll keep my guard up. What about South Africa? They clocked in with 10.2 million tourists in 2019. What's drawing the crowds to the tip of the continent?
South Africa offers a diverse range of experiences, from stunning natural beauty and diverse wildlife to vibrant cities and a rich and complex history.
Okay, so it's like a mini continent all in one country. Beaches, mountains, wildlife, cities, and a history that's both fascinating and fucked up.
Indeed, South Africa is a country of contrasts and complexities, but it's also a country that is incredibly welcoming to tourists.
All right, so if you're looking for an adventure that's both beautiful and thought-provoking, South Africa is the place to be. What about those safety concerns you always hear about?
Like any major city, there are areas in South Africa that are best avoided, but the vast majority of the country is safe for tourists, and there are plenty of reputable tour operators and accommodations that prioritize safety and security.
Okay, so use your head, don't wander off alone in dodgy areas, and you should be fine. Got it. Now let's move on to the Americas. In 2022, they welcomed a whopping 156.2 million international tourists, a 90.9% increase from the previous year. Clearly, people were ready to swap those Zoom calls for some real-life adventures. What's the draw? Is it the American dream, the Hollywood glamour, or just the sheer vastness and diversity of the region?
The Americas offer a diverse range of experiences that appeal to a wide range of travelers. You have everything from iconic cities and historical landmarks to stunning natural beauty and vibrant cultures.
Right, right. Cities, nature, history, culture, it's all there. But let's get specific. What are some of the hottest destinations in the Americas right now?
Well, the United States is still a major draw, raking in a massive 50.8 million tourists in 2022.
50.8 million. What the fuck are they all going there for? Is it the theme parks? The shopping malls? The Hollywood Walk of Fame?
The U.S. offers a diverse range of experiences, from bustling metropolises like New York City and Los Angeles to natural wonders like Yellowstone National Park and the Grand Canyon.
Right, right. Cities, nature, and all that jazz. But let's be real, a lot of those tourists are probably just going there to stuff their faces with burgers and fries.
American cuisine is certainly a draw for many visitors.
All right, fair enough. But let's move on to Mexico. They came in second place with 38.3 million visitors in 2022. What's the allure of Mexico? Is it all tequila and tacos?
Mexico offers a vibrant blend of ancient history, colonial charm, and modern sophistication. From the ancient Mayan ruins to the bustling cities and the stunning beaches, there's something for everyone.
Right, right. History, culture, beaches, and booze. The classic recipe for a successful tourist destination. Well, what about those safety concerns you always hear about? The drug cartels, the kidnappings, the corrupt cops?
While it's important to exercise caution and be aware of your surroundings, the vast majority of Mexico is safe for tourists. The Mexican government has invested heavily in security measures to protect visitors, and most tourist areas are well patrolled.
Okay, so as long as you don't go wandering off into the wrong neighborhoods, you should be fine.
Precisely. It's about being informed and making responsible decisions.
Yeah, fair enough. Now let's talk about Canada. They welcomed 12.8 million tourists in 2022, a significant increase from the previous year. What's drawing the crowds to the Great White North? Is it the maple syrup, the hockey players, or just the sheer vastness and beauty of the country?
Canada offers a unique blend of natural beauty, cosmopolitan cities, and friendly people. From the soaring mountains of the Rockies to the vibrant cities of Toronto and Vancouver, there's something for every type of traveler.
Right, right. Mountain cities and friendly people. But isn't it freezing cold up there?
Canada experiences a wide range of climates, from the temperate rainforests of the west coast to the Arctic tundra of the north. But even in the colder months, there are plenty of opportunities to enjoy winter sports and activities.
Okay, so if you're into skiing, snowboarding, or just snuggling up by a fireplace with a hot toddy, Canada's got you covered.
Indeed, Canada offers a unique winter wonderland experience that attracts visitors from around the world.
All right, fair enough. But let's be real. Canada's got a bit of a reputation for being a little, well, boring. Is there anything to do there besides look at mountains and eat poutine?
Canada has a thriving arts and culture scene, world-class dining, and a vibrant nightlife in its major cities.
Okay, so maybe it's not as boring as I thought.
It's a country that often surprises visitors with its diversity and vibrancy.
All right, I'm intrigued. Maybe I'll have to add Canada to my travel list.
Hmm.
Now let's head across the Pacific and explore the wonders of Asia and the Pacific. This region is a real mixed bag, with some destinations bouncing back strong from the pandemic, while others are still lagging behind. But one thing's for sure, there's no shortage of incredible experiences to be had. What's drawing people to this part of the world?
Asia and the Pacific offer an incredible tapestry of cultures, landscapes, and cuisines. It's a region that truly captivates the imagination.
Right, right. Ancient temples, bustling cities, serene beaches, exotic foods, and all that jazz. But it's also a region that's been hit hard by natural disasters, political instability, and poverty. Is it safe for tourists?
While it's important to be aware of your surroundings and take necessary precautions, the vast majority of Asia and the Pacific is safe for tourists.
Okay, so as long as you use common sense and don't go wandering off into any war zones, you should be fine.
Precisely. It's about being informed and making responsible decisions.
All right, fair enough. Now let's talk about some specific destinations. Where should people go if they want to experience the best of what Asia and the Pacific have to offer?
Well, China is a must-see for many travelers. Despite the challenges of the pandemic, they still managed to pull in 35.3 million visitors in 2023.
China. 35.3 million. That's a lot of people for a country that's been pretty much closed off to the world for the past few years. What are they all going there for?
China is a vast and diverse country with a rich history and culture that spans millennia. From the iconic Great Wall to the bustling metropolises of Beijing and Shanghai, it's a destination that's both awe-inspiring and overwhelming.
Right, right. The Great Wall, the Forbidden City, the Terracotta Army, and all that jazz. Yeah. But isn't it a bit of a totalitarian state? I mean, they've got cameras everywhere. They censor the internet and they crack down on dissent. Right. Is it really safe for tourists to go there?
While it's important to be aware of the political and social climate, China is generally safe for tourists. The Chinese government has invested heavily in tourism infrastructure and security measures, and most tourist areas are well patrolled.
Okay, so as long as you don't start any protests or criticize the government, you should be fine.
It's important to be respectful of local customs and laws.
Right, right. Don't piss off the commies. Got it. Now let's talk about Thailand. They're back in the game big time, attracting a whopping 28.15 million visitors in 2023. What's the draw? Is it the beaches, the temples, the ladyboys?
Thailand offers a unique blend of stunning beaches, vibrant nightlife, delicious food, and ancient temples. It's a country that appeals to a wide range of travelers, from backpackers to luxury seekers.
Right, right. Beaches, temples, nightlife, and food. The classic recipe for a successful tourist destination. But isn't Thailand also known for its sex tourism industry?
While sex tourism is a complex issue in Thailand, it's important to note that it is not representative of the entire country or its people. There are many ethical and responsible ways to experience Thailand's culture and beauty.
All right, so don't go looking for trouble, and you should be fine.
Precisely. It's about being respectful, informed, and making responsible decisions.
Okay, fair enough. Now let's talk about Japan. They're another country that's seen a strong rebound in tourism, welcoming 25.07 million visitors in 2023. What's the appeal of Japan? Is it all sushi and anime?
Japan offers a unique blend of ancient traditions and modern innovations. From the serene beauty of Mount Fuji and the bustling streets of Tokyo to the ancient temples of Kyoto and the vibrant pop culture scene, it's a country that offers a unique and unforgettable experience.
Right, right. Temples, technology, and those crazy-ass toilets that wash your ass for you.
Japan is known for its technological advancements and its unique blend of traditional and modern culture.
Okay, so it's like a glimpse into the future with a touch of ancient wisdom thrown in for good measure. But isn't Japan also super expensive?
Japan can be an expensive destination, but there are ways to travel on a budget. There are affordable accommodations, transportation options, and dining experiences available.
All right, so if you're willing to do your research and be a little thrifty, you can experience Japan without breaking the bank.
Precisely. It's about being informed and making smart choices.
All right, fair enough. Now let's head to Europe. In 2022, Europe saw a whopping 594.5 million international tourist arrivals.
Europe's rich history, diverse cultures, and stunning landscapes have always made it a popular destination for travelers.
Right, right. Castles, cathedrals, cobblestone streets, and all that romantic bullshit. But isn't Europe also known for being crowded, expensive, and full of snooty waiters who look down on American tourists?
While Europe can be crowded, particularly during peak season, there are ways to avoid the crowds. Consider traveling during the shoulder season or exploring lesser-known destinations.
Right, so avoid the tourist traps and you'll have a better experience. What about the cost? Isn't Europe super expensive?
Europe can be expensive, but there are ways to travel on a budget. Consider staying in hostels, cooking your own meals, and taking advantage of free activities and attractions.
Okay, so if you're willing to rough it a little, you can experience Europe without breaking the bank.
Precisely. It's about being resourceful and making smart choices.
All right, fair enough. Now let's talk about some specific destinations in Europe. Where should people go if they want to experience the best of what the continent has to offer?
Well, France is still the top dog, pulling in a massive 79.4 million visitors in 2023.
79.4 million. Seriously, what the fuck are they putting in their wine that's drawing all those tourists?
France offers a unique blend of romance, history, culture, and cuisine. From the iconic Eiffel Tower to the charming streets of Paris, the stunning beaches of the French Riviera, and the world-renowned vineyards of Bordeaux, there's something for everyone.
Right, right. Eiffel Tower, Louvre, wine, cheese, and those snooty waiters I was talking about.
While some stereotypes about French waiters may exist, you'll find that the vast majority of people in France are welcoming and hospitable to tourists.
Okay, so maybe I'll give them a chance. What about Spain? They welcomed 71.7 million tourists in 2022. What's the draw there?
Spain offers a vibrant blend of history, culture, and nightlife. From the architectural wonders of Barcelona to the sun-drenched beaches of the Costa del Sol, the passionate flamenco dancing of Seville, and the delicious tapas and sangria, Spain is a country that truly comes alive at night.
Right, right. Beaches, tapas, sangrias, and those late-night fiestas that go on until dawn. Sounds like my kind of place. But isn't Spain also known for its pickpockets and scams?
Like any popular tourist destination, Spain has its share of petty crime. But with a little bit of awareness and common sense, you can easily avoid becoming a victim.
Right, so don't flash your cash around and keep an eye on your belongings.
Got it. Precisely. And be wary of anyone who approaches you on the street offering to sell you something or help you with directions.
All right, I'll keep my guard up. Now let's talk about Turkey. They saw 50.5 million visitors in 2022. They've been making a big push to attract tourists in recent years, and it seems to be paying off. What's the appeal of Turkey?
Turkey offers a fascinating blend of Eastern and Western influences. From the ancient city of Istanbul, where East meets West, to the stunning beaches of the Aegean and Mediterranean coasts, the surreal landscapes of Cappadocia with its hot air balloon rides, and the delicious Turkish cuisine. It's a country that has something for everyone.
Okay, so it's like a bridge between Europe and Asia with a little bit of everything thrown in for good measure. But isn't Turkey also a bit politically unstable? I mean, they've had some issues with terrorism and human rights violations in recent years.
While it's important to stay informed about the political and social climate, the vast majority of Turkey is safe for tourists.
Okay, so as long as you stay away from any protests or political rallies, you should be fine.
It's important to be respectful of local customs and laws.
Right. Don't piss off the authorities. Got it.
And be sure to research any areas you plan to visit and take necessary precautions.
All right, I'll do my homework. Now, before we wrap up this whirlwind tour of the global tourism scene, let's address the elephant in the room. The elephant in the room being all the fucked up shit that can go wrong when you're traveling. I'm talking about scams, theft, illness, natural disasters, terrorism, and all the other bullshit that can turn your dream vacation into a nightmare.
It's important to be aware of the potential risks associated with travel and to take steps to mitigate them.
Right, so don't be a naive asshat who thinks nothing bad can ever happen to them. What are some basic tips for staying safe and avoiding trouble while traveling?
First and foremost, do your research before you go. Learn about the local customs laws and potential risks.
Right, so don't show up in Saudi Arabia wearing a bikini or try to smuggle drugs into Singapore.
Precisely. Be respectful of local laws and customs.
Okay, what else?
Be aware of your surroundings and keep your belongings secure. Don't flash your cash around or leave your valuables unattended.
Right, so don't be a walking target for thieves.
And be wary of scams and hustlers. If something sounds too good to be true, it probably is.
Okay, so don't buy any Rolex watches from street vendors or fall for those free tours that end up costing you a fortune.
And if you do encounter any problems, stay calm and report them to the appropriate authorities.
Right, so don't try to be a hero or take matters into your own hands.
And most importantly, trust your instincts. If something feels wrong, it probably is.
Okay, so if you get that creepy feeling that you're being followed or that someone is trying to scam, you get the hell out of there.
Precisely. Trust your gut and err on the side of caution.
All right, so we've covered the basics of staying safe and avoiding trouble while traveling. But let's face it, sometimes shit happens no matter how careful you are. What should people do if they find themselves in a real jam?
First and foremost, don't panic.
Right. Easier said than done when you're in a foreign country and something bad happens. But okay, don't panic. What next?
If you're facing an immediate threat, get to safety and call for help.
Okay, so if you're being mugged, attacked, or kidnapped, run like hell and scream for help.
Precisely. Your safety is paramount.
Okay, what if it's not an immediate threat, but you're still in a difficult situation, like getting lost, sick, or scammed?
Contact your embassy or consulate for assistance.
Right, those guys are supposed to help us out when we're in trouble abroad. But let's be real, they're not always the most helpful or efficient bunch.
Embassies and consulates can provide valuable assistance in a variety of situations, from lost passports to medical emergencies.
Okay, so it's worth a shot.
Yeah.
What if you can't reach your embassy or consulate?
Contact your travel insurance provider or your credit card company.
Right, those guys can sometimes help with things like medical expenses or emergency evacuations. But let's be real, they're not always the easiest to deal with either.
It's important to familiarize yourself with your insurance coverage and credit card benefits before you travel.
Okay, so read the fine print and don't assume you're covered for everything.
Precisely. Be prepared and know your options.
All right, so we've covered a lot of ground in this deep dive. We've explored the highs and lows of the global tourism scene, from the economic boom to the potential risks and challenges. But before we wrap things up, I want to leave you with one final thought. Travel is a privilege, not a right.
I agree. It's important to approach travel with a sense of humility and responsibility.
Right, so don't be an entitled asshat who thinks the world owes you a good time. Be respectful of the places you visit, the people you meet, and the cultures you encounter. And most importantly, have fun, damn it.
Indeed, travel should be an enriching and enjoyable experience.
All right, that's it for part one of our tourism extravaganza. Tune in next time when we'll be diving deeper into some of the ethical dilemmas and controversial issues facing the industry. Until then, safe travels, my friend, and try not to get arrested.
Welcome back to our deep dive into the wild world of tourism. Last time we cruised through the big picture, the global rebound, the heavy hitters raking in the cash, and a taste of what's hot in each continent.
Yeah, we painted a pretty rosy picture, didn't we? People are out there living their best lives, dropping stacks of cash on exotic experiences. But, let's be real, there's a dark side to all this globetrotting.
Indeed. The tourism industry, while a powerful economic force, isn't without its challenges. In fact, some would say it's facing a full-blown existential crisis.
Yeah, lay it on me. What kind of shitstorm are we talking about?
Well, for starters, there's the issue of over-tourism. Some destinations are simply being loved to death.
Yeah, I've seen those photos of beaches packed like sardine cans and historical sites overrun with selfie sticks. Not exactly my idea of a relaxing getaway. So you're telling me, what's the big deal with over-tourism?
It's not just about crowded beaches and long lines. Over-tourism puts a strain on local resources, infrastructure, and the environment. It can lead to increased pollution damage to historical sites and displacement of local communities.
So basically, tourism can turn paradise into a dystopian shithole.
In some cases, it can certainly have negative consequences.
Okay, so what can we do about it? Do we just tell everyone to stay home and watch Netflix instead?
Not necessarily. Travel can be an incredibly enriching experience, but it needs to be done thoughtfully and with a conscious effort to minimize negative impacts.
All right, so how do we strike that balance? How do we travel responsibly without becoming preachy eco-warrior assholes?
It starts with choosing your destinations wisely. Consider visiting lesser-known places or traveling during the off-season to avoid contributing to overcrowding.
Right, so skip those overcrowded tourist traps and explore the hidden gems. What else?
Once you're at your destination, be mindful of your impact. Respect local customs, support local businesses, and minimize your waste.
Okay, so no littering, no haggling like a maniac in the markets, and no demanding a full English breakfast in the middle of rural Thailand. Got it.
Precisely. And when it comes to accommodations and activities, opt for eco-friendly options whenever possible.
Right, so ditch the mega resorts for locally owned guest houses and swap those jet ski tours for hikes or bike rides.
Those are great examples. And don't underestimate the power of simply being informed. Do your research before you go learn about the local culture and environmental challenges and support organizations that are working to promote sustainable tourism practices.
Okay, so use your brain, be respectful, and do your homework before you go. Not exactly rocket science, is it?
No, it's not. But it's amazing how often common sense goes out the window when people are on vacation.
True that we all get a little caught up in the excitement sometimes.
Yeah.
But it's important to remember that our actions have consequences, even when we're on vacation.
Absolutely. Travel should be about more than just ticking off destinations on a bucket list. It's about connecting with different cultures, expanding our perspectives, and leaving the places we visit better than we found them.
Right. I'm feeling all warm and fuzzy inside now. But let's be real. Not everyone's going to jump on the responsible tourism bandwagon.
Yeah.
Some people just want to party, get drunk, and leave their trash on the beach. How do we deal with those asshats?
That's true. There will always be those who prioritize their own enjoyment over the well-being of the places they visit.
So what's the solution then? Do we need stricter regulations, higher taxes on tourism, or maybe even ban travel altogether?
It's a complex issue with no easy answers. But I believe that education and awareness are key. The more we can inform people about the impacts of their travel choices, the more likely they are to make responsible decisions.
Right. So shame them on social media, expose their bad behavior, and make them feel like the assholes they are.
I'm not sure public shaming is the most effective approach, but raising awareness through social media and other platforms can certainly play a role in influencing behavior.
All right, so it's a combination of personal responsibility, government regulations, and industry initiatives. Sounds like a tall order.
It is. But I believe that sustainable tourism is achievable if we all work together.
Okay, so we've talked about over-tourism and how to be more responsible travelers. What other challenges is the industry facing?
Well, climate change is a major concern. Rising sea levels, extreme weather events, and changing ecosystems are all having an impact on tourism destinations around the world.
Yeah, no kidding.
Yeah.
Imagine planning a beach vacation only to find your hotel underwater. Not exactly the Instagram-worthy experience you were hoping for.
Exactly. And it's not just coastal areas that are affected. Mountain regions are experiencing melting glaciers, Ski resorts are facing shorter seasons, and wildlife populations are being disrupted.
So climate change is basically throwing a giant wrench into the whole tourism machine. What are the potential impacts of this shit?
It's a multifaceted issue. You have destinations that are literally disappearing due to rising sea levels or extreme weather events. There's also the impact on biodiversity and wildlife, which can disrupt tourism activities like safaris or wildlife viewing. And then there are the economic consequences as destinations struggle to cope with the costs of climate change adaptation and mitigation.
So it's not just about saving the planet. It's about saving the tourism industry's ass.
Sustainability and economic viability are intertwined.
All right, I get it. Climate change is a big fucking deal, and the tourism industry needs to step up its game. What are some of the ways the industry is trying to adapt and mitigate the impacts of climate change?
There's a growing focus on developing sustainable tourism practices, such as reducing carbon emissions, conserving water and energy, and protecting biodiversity.
Right, so hotels are installing solar panels, restaurants are sourcing local ingredients, and tour operators are offering eco-friendly excursions.
Exactly. There's also a growing trend of destinations investing in climate resilience measures, such as building seawalls, restoring coastal ecosystems, and developing early warning systems for extreme weather events.
So they're trying to prepare for the worst while hoping for the best.
Essentially, yes.
Okay, so there's some hope for the future of tourism, even in the face of climate change. But let's be real, there are a lot of powerful interests at play here, and not everyone is on board with this sustainability thing.
That's true. There are often conflicting priorities between economic development and environmental protection.
Right, so some businesses are still putting profits ahead of the planet, and some governments are more concerned with boosting tourism revenue than protecting their natural resources.
It's a complex issue with no easy solutions. But I believe that consumer demand for sustainable tourism is a powerful force for change.
Right, so if enough people vote with their wallets and choose to support businesses and destinations that are doing the right thing, it can have a ripple effect throughout the industry.
Precisely. Consumers have the power to drive change through their choices.
All right, so we got a lot to think about here. Over-tourism, climate change, and the tension between profit and sustainability. It's a tangled web of challenges. But let's not lose sight of the fact that travel can be a force for good in the world.
Absolutely. Travel can broaden our horizons, connect us with different cultures, and inspire us to appreciate the beauty and diversity of our planet.
Right, so let's not give up on travel just yet. Let's just be mindful of the impact we're having and choose to travel in a way that benefits both ourselves and the places we visit.
I couldn't agree more. Responsible travel is about finding that balance between exploration and preservation.
All right, that's it for part 2 of our deep dive into the wild world of tourism. Tune in next time when we'll be exploring some of the most innovative and sustainable tourism initiatives happening around the world. Until then, happy travels, my friend. Welcome back, you travel junkies. In the last 2 parts of our deep dive, we explored the good, the bad, and the ugly of the global tourism scene. We've seen how tourism can boost economies and connect cultures, but we've also seen how it can fuck up the environment and exploit local communities. So what's the solution? Do we just give up on travel altogether and become hermits?
I wouldn't recommend that travel, when done right, can be a powerful force for good. It's about finding that sweet spot between exploration and preservation.
Okay, so how the hell do we do that? How do we travel responsibly without becoming preachy, self-righteous asshats?
It starts with a shift in mindset. Instead of viewing travel as a purely consumptive activity, we need to start thinking about it as a way to contribute to the well-being of the places we visit.
Right, so instead of just taking selfies and buying souvenirs, we need to think about how we can leave a positive impact.
Exactly. And there are a lot of innovative and inspiring initiatives out there that are doing just that.
Okay, give me some examples. I need some hope after all the doom and gloom we've been talking about.
One promising trend is the rise of regenerative tourism. It's all about going beyond simply minimizing harm and actually working to restore and revitalize destinations.
Regenerative tourism. Sounds like some kind of new age bullshit. How the fuck do you actually regenerate a place through tourism?
Imagine a hotel that not only minimizes its environmental footprint, but also actively works to restore the surrounding ecosystem. They might plant trees, create wildlife corridors, or support local conservation projects.
So it's like they're giving back to the environment instead of just taking from it. I like the sound of that.
Exactly.
Yeah.
And it's not just about the environment. Regenerative tourism also focuses on empowering local communities, ensuring they benefit from tourism while preserving their culture and traditions.
So it's a win-win situation. Tourists get a more authentic and enriching experience, and the local community gets a boost to their economy and a chance to share their culture with the world. Give me some real-world examples of this regenerative tourism shit.
There's an eco-lodge in Costa Rica called Pacuari River Lodge that has been recognized for its commitment to sustainability and community engagement. They've planted thousands of trees, created a wildlife sanctuary, and partnered with local indigenous communities to offer authentic cultural experiences.
Okay, that sounds pretty impressive. But Costa Rica's a long way to go for a vacation. What about something closer to home?
Well, closer to home, you have the Fogo Island Inn in Newfoundland, Canada. They've created a unique model of community-owned tourism that's revitalized the local economy and preserved the island's cultural heritage. They employ local residents, source materials and food locally, and offer guests immersive experiences that showcase the island's rugged beauty and unique culture.
All right, so these are just a couple of examples, but it sounds like there's a growing movement towards this whole regenerative tourism thing.
Absolutely. More and more travelers are seeking out experiences that align with their values and make a positive impact on the world.
And it's not just travelers who are driving this change. The tourism industry itself is recognizing the need for sustainability and innovation. What are some of the ways they're stepping up their game?
Many hotels, tour operators, and destinations are adopting eco-friendly practices, such as investing in renewable energy, reducing their waste, and partnering with local communities.
Right, so they're realizing that being green can also be profitable.
Sustainability and profitability are not mutually exclusive.
Okay, so there's hope for the future of tourism. But let's be real, there's still a lot of work to be done. What are some of the biggest challenges facing the industry when it comes to sustainability?
One of the biggest challenges is the lack of awareness and education. Many travelers are simply not aware of the impacts of their travel choices or the alternatives available.
Right, so they book those all-inclusive resorts, take those gas-guzzling bus tours, and buy those cheap souvenirs without thinking twice about the consequences.
That's where education and awareness campaigns come in. We need to do a better job of informing travelers about the importance of making sustainable choices.
Okay, so bombard them with guilt trips and make them feel bad about their vacations?
Not necessarily. It's about providing information and inspiration. We need to highlight the positive impacts of sustainable tourism and showcase the amazing experiences that are available.
Right, so show them that being a responsible traveler doesn't have to be boring or inconvenient.
Exactly. It's about making sustainable travel aspirational and desirable.
Okay, what else? What other challenges are out there?
Another challenge is the lack of regulation and enforcement. Many destinations lack the resources or the political will to implement and enforce sustainable tourism policies.
Right, so businesses can get away with polluting the environment, exploiting workers, and destroying cultural heritage without facing any consequences.
That's where government intervention and industry self-regulation come in. We need stronger laws, stricter enforcement, and a greater commitment from businesses to do the right thing.
Okay, so it's going to take a collective effort from governments, businesses, and travelers to make sustainable tourism a reality.
Absolutely. It's a shared responsibility.
All right, so we've talked about the challenges. Now let's focus on the solutions. What are some of the most innovative and exciting initiatives that are paving the way for a more sustainable and responsible tourism industry?
One area that's particularly exciting is the use of technology to promote sustainability. For example, there are apps that allow travelers to track their carbon footprint, offset their emissions, and find eco-friendly accommodations and activities.
So instead of just posting selfies on Instagram, they can use their phones to actually make a difference.
Exactly. Technology can empower travelers to make more informed and responsible choices.
Okay, what else? What other technological innovations are out there?
There's a growing trend of using artificial intelligence to manage tourism flows and minimize the impacts of over-tourism. For example, AI can be used to predict peak travel times, optimize transportation routes, and distribute visitors more evenly across destinations.
So instead of having hordes of tourists all flocking to the same spots at the same time, we can use technology to spread them out a bit.
Precisely. It's about using data and technology to create a more balanced and sustainable tourism ecosystem.
Okay, that sounds promising. But technology isn't a silver bullet, is it? We still need humans to make ethical decisions and act responsibly.
Absolutely. Technology is a tool, but it's up to us to use it wisely. We need to develop a more ethical and responsible approach to travel, one that prioritizes the well-being of both people and planet.
Okay, so preach it, brother. What's your vision for the future of tourism?
I envision a future where travel is a force for good, where it contributes to the economic, social, and environmental well-being of destinations. I see a future where travelers are more mindful of their impacts, where businesses prioritize sustainability, and where communities are empowered to benefit from tourism without sacrificing their culture or their environment.
right? So it's a future where we can all travel the world without feeling guilty about trashing the planet or exploiting people.
Exactly. It's about creating a more just and sustainable tourism industry for everyone.
Well said. All right, that's it for our deep dive into the wild world of tourism. We've explored the highs and lows of the industry, from the economic boom to the ethical dilemmas. We've talked about the challenges of over-tourism, climate change, and the exploitation of workers and communities. But we've also seen how tourism can be a force for good, promoting cultural exchange, conservation, and economic development. It's a complex and ever-evolving industry, but one thing's for sure, travel is here to stay. So let's all do our part to make it as sustainable and responsible as possible. Safe travels, my friends.